Good morning, I'm Abheudaya Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. Group-wise discussions being held on all proposals today on the third day of the Mahasamiti meeting of Nepali Congress. 4 groups formed with the inclusion of representatives from all provinces and districts. Loan shark victims who began their march for justice on foot 3 weeks ago from Jhapa and Kantipur, set to arrive in Kathmandu today, say they will not return home without receiving justice. The United States vetoes a resolution at the United Nations calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Dozens of European countries call for an immediate pause in the Gaza war. And host Nepal batting first against Namibia after losing the toss in the ICC World Cup League 2 match underway at the TU ground. Nepal lose wickets at regular intervals. Group-wise discussions have begun on the 5 reports presented at the ongoing Mahasamiti meeting of Nepali Congress. 4 groups have been formed for the discussion. The Chief of Publicity Department of the party, Min Vishwakarma, said that 4 teams have been formed, including representatives from Koshi and Sudur Paschim, Madhesh and Karnali, Bagmati and Karnali and Lumbini provinces, and from sister organizations as well. The discussion is said to be held throughout the day today. Party Vice President Purna Bahadur Khadka had presented the policy report. General Secretary Gagan Thapa had furnished the organizational report. Another General Secretary, Bishwa Prakash Sharma, presented the political report. Finance Minister Prakash Sharan Mahat submitted a report on the country's economic status and challenges, while Shyam Ghimire submitted the audit report at the Mahasamiti meeting yesterday. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces, why have parties that advocated for contesting in elections solely not been able to leave their alliance? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
जनतासँग प्रत्यक्ष रूपमा फेस गरेर जनताका मुद्दासँग चाहिँ काम गर्न नसक्ने कारणले गर्दाखेरि यिनीहरू एक्लै गएर जनतासँग चाहिँ चुनाव लड्ने वातावरण सिर्जना गर्न सकिन्न भन्ने यिनीहरूको मनस्थितिमा भएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि
जनादर नभएको न पदको लोभको लागि
आफ्नो स्वार्थको लागि चाहिँ यिनले जे पनि गर्न सक्छन्।
जनतासँग भोट माग्ने हैसियत पनि त हुनु पर्यो नि नेताहरुको।
सत्ता प्राप्तिका लागि नै हो यो।
एक्लै चुनाव लड्ने सम्भवतः क्षमता आँटकै राइदोसँग छैन।
जनतासँग डराएर नै यो गठबन्धन नगरिकन चुनावमा जान सक्दैन।
आफू एक्लै जनताको माझ गएर हामीले यस्तो काम गरेका थियौं र हामीलाई भोट चाहियो भनेर यिनीहरु भन्नै सक्दैनन्। त्यही भएर यिनीहरुको एकल आयो भने यिनीहरुको कम्प्लिट भोट आउँदैन कि यिनीहरुले गठबन्धनमा आयो भने मात्रै सरकार बन्ने, नत्र बन्ने छैन, ठाउँ नै छैन।
जनताको माझमा गएर गरेका प्रतिबद्धताहरूलाई पूरा गर्न नसकेपछि निर्वाचनमा कतै हारि पो हाल्छु कि भन्ने डरले।
The victims of loan sharks who have joined the March for Justice have headed towards Kathmandu from Simle Dhading this morning. The victims of loan sharks from 28 districts are set to reach Kathmandu on foot today, seeking justice. The group that had begun their journey on foot from Pipaltar Dhading yesterday morning had reached Simle last night. The victims have poured grievances regarding the government's indifference towards their plight, even though they are to arrive in the capital today after such an arduous journey, and have said that they will not return home until their demands are addressed. Those who had joined the march, which began from Jhapa and Kathmandu and Kantipur on 30th of January, are set to arrive in Kathmandu this evening. It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. What's your take on the state's silence on the arduous journey on foot to the capital taken by victims of loan sharks? Your options are A, heights of insensitivity, B, complicated issue, and C, state's apathy. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. The Kantipur Metropolis has issued a notice directing individuals, companies, and organizations to vacate the illegally occupied land of Lalita Niwas. The authority has given a deadline of 1 week to do so. The Metropolis has said that the notice has been issued for conservation, maintenance, and appropriate management of the government-owned land as per the verdict of the special court. The authority has warned of taking action as per the customary law if the area is not vacated within the given deadline. Regular international conferences being held in Nepal in recent time have created a positive image of the country among the international fraternity. People from across the world, as well as esteemed organizations, have been selecting Nepal to hold major conventions and summits due to the country's hospitality and natural beauty. This is despite Nepal's struggle to control corruption, challenges in ensuring good governance and economic growth. The recently concluded 16th World Social Forum in Kathmandu has sent a positive message that Nepal is concerned about social justice, conflicts and equality, among other issues. The conference participants that came from around 93 different countries returned with a message of Nepal's diversity. Apart from the World Social Forum, the International Vice-Chancellor Summit also concluded recently in Dhulihel, Kavre. More than 150 vice-chancellors from different countries participated in the convention that had been organized by Indian University, while experts from Asia, Europe, Africa and Australia, among others, participated in the program. The World Bank is now preparing to organize one of its conferences in Nepal in the coming year, as representatives from 92 countries prepare to attend the event along with the World Bank president. Nepal's recent popularity among international organizers is also expected to have a positive impact on the upcoming investment summit. And it's time now for the international update. The United States has vetoed a resolution at the United Nations calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, an anticipated move that, while supportive of Israel, comes amid signs of American frustration with Israel's war. The U.S. had already signaled its intention to veto the Algerian resolution, but has grown increasingly critical of Israel's conduct in Gaza, and on Monday proposed its own Security Council draft resolution that for the first time calls for a temporary ceasefire in the conflict. It also pointedly warns Israel against launching an offensive of Rafah in southern Gaza. Meanwhile, Israel's UN ambassador Gilad Erdan said that UN resolutions calling for a ceasefire were flawed and would not be a silver bullet or a magical solution to all the region's problems. He said a ceasefire was a death sentence for many more Israelis and Gazans. Riyad Mansour, the Palestinian ambassador to the UN, said the Palestinian people in Gaza are facing a grave situation. Mansour said a ceasefire needs to be implemented now and is the only way to save the lives of 1.5 million Palestinians in the Rafah district. Similarly, dozens of European countries called for an immediate pause in the Gaza war and renew warnings against Israel's threatened ground assault on Rafah. The United States and Russia will present arguments today in proceedings at the UN's highest court examining the legality of Israel's occupation of the Palestinian territories. The International Court of Justice, also known as the World Court, was asked in 2022 by the UN General Assembly to issue a non-binding opinion on the legal consequences of the occupation. Israel, which is not taking part, said in written comments that the court's involvement could be harmful to achieving a negotiated settlement. Washington in 2022 opposed the court issuing an opinion and is expected to argue today that it cannot rule on the occupation's lawfulness. More than 50 states will present arguments until 26th of February. Egypt and France are also scheduled to speak today. Last Monday, Palestinian representatives asked the judges to declare Israel's occupation of their territory illegal and said its opinion could help reach a two-state solution. Yesterday, 10 states, including South Africa, were overwhelmingly critical of Israel's conduct in the occupied territories, with many urging the court to declare the occupation illegal. The 15 judges are expected to take roughly 6 months to issue their opinion on the request, which also asks them to consider the legal status of the occupation and its consequences for states. Israel ignored a World Court opinion in 2004 when it found that Israel's separation wall in the West Bank violated international law and should be dismantled. Instead, it has been extended. Two political parties in Pakistan have reached a formal agreement to form a new government following an election mired in controversy. The Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz (PMLN) will be backed by the Pakistan People's Party (PPP) in a new administration they jointly announced. Both parties won fewer seats than candidates loyal to jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan on 8th of February. Khan's PTI party branded the coalition mandate thieves on X, formerly Twitter. His movement alleges the vote was rigged to keep his supporters out of power. More than 6 days after reaching an initial deal to form a coalition, the PMLN and PPP announced a full agreement had been concluded at the press conference yesterday. Former Prime Minister and President of PMLN, Shahbaz Sharif, pledged collective action to tackle economic and other challenges. The agreement means Sharif is on course to become Prime Minister for a second time with the backing of the junior coalition partner, while Asif Ali Zardari of the PPP will be the coalition's candidate to become president, an office he has previously held. The process for electing the Prime Minister involves a parliamentary vote, which is expected by the end of this month. A separate election to decide the next president will be held in the coming weeks. It remains unclear who will take up other major government posts. Haryana and Delhi braced for the march today by Punjab farmers seeking a minimum support price guarantee. So far, 4 rounds of meetings have been held between the center, government, and farmer leaders, but have not yielded any result. On 18th of February, after the latest meeting in which Union Ministers Arjun Munda, Piyush Goyal, Nityananda Rai and farmer leaders Jagjit Singh Daliwal and Sarwan Singh Pander participated, the center government offered to procure 5 crops as MSP by entering into a contract for 5 years. The protesting farmers, however, rejected the government's offer. As farmer tractor trolley numbers swelled at the Punjab-Haryana border points despite the High Court pointing out that tractor trolleys are not allowed on highways, the Haryana police urged their Punjab counterparts to seize heavy earth-moving machinery at the interstate border and stop women, children and journalists at least a kilometer from the border. And now, before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Group-wise discussions being held on all proposals today on the 3rd day of the Mahasamiti meeting of Nepali Congress. 4 groups formed with the inclusion of representatives from all provinces and districts. Loan shark victims who began their march for justice on foot 3 weeks ago from Jhapa and Kanchanpur, set to arrive in Kathmandu today, say they will not return home without receiving justice. The United States vetoes a resolution at the United Nations calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Dozens of European countries call for an immediate pause in the Gaza war. And host Nepal batting first against Namibia after losing the toss in the ICC World Cup League 2 match underway at the TU ground. Nepal lose wickets at regular intervals. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.